Global Reaction Princess of Asturias Award Ceremony 2025 sparks urgent attention. Everyone expected elegance, measured speeches, carefully timed applause, another dignified ceremony that Spain understands by heart. That was the familiar rhythm of the Princess of Asturias Award ceremony. A tradition, a symbol, a moment of quiet national pride. But something happened this year that no script accounted for. And within minutes, the attention stopped being ceremonial. It became urgent. Because Princess Leonor did not simply attend the ceremony. She changed the temperature of it. At first glance, nothing appeared different. The same grand setting, the same dignitaries, the same global audience tuned in respectfully. But then Leonor took her place. And the shift was immediate. Not dramatic, not theatrical, subtle. Her posture wasn't stiff. Her expression wasn't distant. Her presence didn't feel rehearsed. It felt grounded. And that single difference echoed far beyond Spain. Because this was not the image of a future queen being displayed. It was the image of a future queen fully aware of the moment she was standing in. As the ceremony unfolded, international cameras lingered longer than usual. Not because of spectacle, because of composure. Princess Leonor wasn't trying to impress. She wasn't trying to disappear either. She occupied the space naturally. And that unsettled the expectation everyone had carried into the room. What sparked global reaction wasn't one sentence or one gesture. It was alignment. Leonor looked aligned with herself. And alignment inside monarchy is rare. Across Europe, analysts began commenting quietly at first. Then more confidently. They weren't asking if Leonor was ready someday. They were asking if she was already stepping into readiness. Spain noticed this too. Inside the country, reactions split into two emotional directions. Pride and pause. Pride because Leonor represented Spain with strength and calm under global scrutiny. Pause because something had shifted. This didn't feel like preparation anymore. It felt like transition. The ceremony honored excellence, achievement, courage, and thought leadership. But ironically, the figure drawing the most attention wasn't on the award stage. It was seated beside the legacy she will one day inherit. Leonor listened with intent. She didn't perform admiration. She absorbed it. That detail mattered. Because leadership is learned in listening long before commanding. And the world saw it. International social reactions followed a similar pattern. Not loud commentary. Not polarized takes. Just focus. Clips were replayed. Moments slowed down. People tried to understand what they were feeling. And what they felt was presence. That is why the attention became urgent. Because presence signals imminence. And monarchy operates on distance until suddenly it doesn't. Princess Leonor's role at this ceremony has always been symbolic. But this time, symbolism deepened into substance. She was no longer simply representing a future ideal. She was embodying a current responsibility. And that realization rippled through families watching at home. Parents saw maturity. Young viewers saw possibility. Older generations saw continuity that felt calmer, steadier than expected. Behind the scenes, royal advisors were keenly aware of this moment. Not alarmed. Aware. Because nothing went wrong. And yet everything changed. Leonor did exactly what was expected. Just with more gravity. And gravity cannot be reversed once felt. As the ceremony progressed, the audience reaction subtly shifted. Applause felt warmer. Silences felt intentional. The room was listening differently. As if understanding that they were not simply honoring past achievement. They were witnessing future stewardship. Global headlines didn't shout. They observed. They used words like composed, assured, evolving. And those are not words assigned lightly to someone still growing into power. Spain has always protected Leonor's pace. But this ceremony made clear that pace may now be her decision as much as the institutions. Which raises the question many are now quietly asking. If this is how Leonor stands during ceremonial observation, how will she lead during complexity? The Princess of Asturias Award ceremony has always celebrated intellect, courage, and service. This year, without announcement, it also revealed something else. Readiness. And readiness commands attention whether it asks for it or not. As the ceremony moved deeper into its program, attention didn't fade. It intensified. Not because anything unexpected happened, but because nothing needed to. Princess Leonor remained steady, composed, and unmistakably aware of the weight the room carried. And that is when global observers began drawing quiet comparisons. Not to past monarchs, but to future leadership styles. Leonor did not dominate attention. She allowed it to flow around her. That restraint spoke volumes, because power, when restrained, feels intentional rather than imposed. Inside Spain, conversations turned reflective. People spoke about growth, about how rarely they notice it happening in real time. Leonor's journey has been visible since childhood, but today felt different. This felt like arrival, not at authority, but at confidence. Family dynamics played a silent but significant role. Those watching noticed how Leonor's calm seemed mirrored rather than directed. There was no urgency around her. No invisible hand guiding each movement. That independence, subtle as it was, mattered deeply. It suggested trust. And trust inside royal families is not given lightly. International commentators picked up on this almost instantly. They described the atmosphere as shifted, settled, and forward-looking. The ceremony no longer felt solely about honoring excellence. It felt like a bridge. A transition space between generations. Spain has lived with uncertainty before. But moments like this recalibrate perspective. They remind the public that continuity does not always require dramatic change. Sometimes continuity arrives softly, through presence and restraint. Princess Leonor's demeanor allowed the ceremony to breathe. Nothing felt rushed. Nothing felt delayed. Everything felt intentional. And intention is what distinguishes training from leadership. As the awards concluded, the applause carried a different texture. Less formal, more personal. The audience was responding to a collective understanding. They had witnessed something beyond protocol. Not a milestone announced, a threshold crossed. Global reaction followed this same emotional arc. From curiosity, to observation, to acknowledgement. There was no need for urgent statements or clarifications. The moment clarified itself. Princess Leonor did exactly what a future leader must do in her earliest stages. She paid attention, and in doing so, she asked the world to do the same. The Princess of Asturias Awards have always pointed toward excellence. This year, they also pointed forward. To a Spain preparing not just for continuity, but for a future that feels grounded, attentive, and unmistakably present.